I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psychacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the subject of today's short talk is the position of the adored. This is a continuation of my episode on the balance of attraction, so if you're new to this channel, you may want to start there. In this episode, we'll be talking about the position of the adored, which in romantic relationships is the one who likes the other less. Now, first off, I'd like to begin by saying that the adored often get a bad rap. What do you mean the one that likes the other less? How cold and cruel and heartless, right? However, the fact of the matter is that the two positions create each other. Liking the other less creates the opportunity for the adorer to like the other more, which is actually where some people prefer to be. It's kind of like how taking isn't necessarily selfish because it actually gives others the opportunity to give. And many people are actually far more comfortable giving than taking. Now, obviously, this dynamic can be taken to some pretty unpleasant extremes, like in codependent relationships or relationships with personality disordered individuals. However, the fundamental truth remains constant even within so-called mature, high-functioning relationships. Remember, the two positions are actually value neutral, and there are pros and cons to each. The adored get to be loved by the ones they're with. Generally, those in this position tend to have a much more emotionally equilibrated experience than do those in the position of the adorer. They don't experience the same highs and lows as the adorers, which makes this position a better fit for those who prefer not to live as much in their emotions. It can also be a good fit for those who, for whatever reason, are not as interested in placing romantic relationships in the center of their lives. People who are more focused on their career, for instance, can't really afford to be on an emotional roller coaster. They can appreciate the partner, but because they aren't as emotionally preoccupied with the other, they tend to experience a greater sense of internal freedom within that relationship. On the other hand, being in the position of the adored can be somewhat boring. These folks generally don't experience the feeling of being in love as intensely. They're not with the ones that they love. They're loved by the ones that they're with, which can make them feel like they're missing out or settling. It can also feel strange to be put on a pedestal because of the gap between the other's perception of you and your own self-knowledge. Unless you're narcissistically grandiose, you're kind of aware of your shortcomings, which means that you're gonna kind of feel like you're participating in unreality when someone loves you more than you love yourself. Figuring out which position feels better for you and determining your ideal gap in subjective attraction requires experience and accurate self-knowledge. Some people prefer the balance of attraction to be as close to equal as possible. Others prefer rather sizable gaps. Just keep in mind that it's often the case that the very things that attract you to a person at the beginning are the same things that drive you crazy in the end. So choose wisely. I hope you found this useful. Please drop a comment below. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation, you can reach me at psychackspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.